Good evening and welcome to Back to School Night. We're doing this virtually, so here we are. My name is Ted Malin and I am the computer teacher, one of the computer teachers. My class is called Computer Apps. I like to think of it as technology literacy. My goal is to make our children proficient users of the technology for their academic life and also for their future careers. I'm the only teacher here in Hackensack Middle School who has the license of business and careers. That is my main teaching license. I have a couple of others, but that's my main teaching license. So I do take a little bit of a careers push when I'm doing this, and so I kind of think and I kind of teach to the kids, to have their mindset in a career-oriented way. We're going to do some typing practice, for example, but I even get into having them write a business letter and a resume and thinking about those kinds of things. I'll get into that in more detail a little later on in this video, but just to give you the idea, in addition, it's more than just a computer class. It's kind of like a business ed class. So, just a reminder that we have a day 1 and day 2 schedule that we follow. In other words, your children only come to me for half of the year. It's a semester. So halfway through the year, they will switch to a different special. And also, they come to me every other day. So each school day is either a day 1 or a day 2. And so your child only has me on one of those days. So they come to my class every other day. When they come to my class, I kind of break each class period into 3 different segments. First, we watch sort of what I call a cool, interesting technology video, but I think of it more as sort of technology current events. So I show them some cool, you probably have already heard about some robot videos, but they're not always going to be robots. That's just what I do at the beginning of the year. I have a bunch of quick, like 2 to 3 minute technology videos of things going on in the technology world, and we have a quick online discussion about it. The second thing we do each day is some typing practice. I'm going to talk about this in a little more detail in a minute with you. But then the third part of each class, and sort of the main chunk of the second half of class, is whatever project we happen to be working on. So those are the 3 things we kind of do. That's how I break up the day. I'll go into more detail in a minute. But keyboarding. Now, Mavis Beacon is the program I use when we're here in school. Since we're doing virtual currently, I've switched to typing.com so that I can see what they're doing from my own dashboard. But typing, extremely important, extremely under considered by a lot of people, but it's a very important skill. And I'm usually the first teacher who really is a stickler with the kids for using correct form. And correct form means correct fingers on the correct keys, means eyes up on the screen, and I try to get them to focus on accuracy, not speed at first. The speed comes later. This is a lot easier when they're here with me in class. I actually have keyboards that I've made for them. There's an extra keyboard on each of the computers in my classroom that I made by painting over the keyboard with nail polish in a pattern that helps them know which finger should be pressing which key. This is obviously not as easy in virtual when they're home and I'm here to be able to monitor, but once they get back to my room, I do look over their shoulders and make sure they are using the correct fingers on the correct keys and that they are keeping their eyes up on the screen. And here's an example of what it looks like when the kids are typing, but you can see that the color of the keys corresponds to the finger that should be pressing that key. And about the projects, some of the different projects that we will try to get to. We don't necessarily have time to get to all of these, but we do start off with 3D CAD drawing, which is a lot of fun. We have a 3D printer in the room, so the students will learn how to do 3D CAD drawing. And I will print something for them. Even if we're doing virtual, I will print them something. They're going to make something with their name on it. We usually do these computer nameplates that fit on the top of their monitors. I might change that to something, since they're virtual, something else with their name on it, but it's a lot of fun. Another project that we do, we learn how to do real video editing. I'm actually sitting right now on our green screen that I built myself for our classroom. So it's a full chroma stage, so the kids can film themselves here. Again, if we're doing virtual, I can't invite them to use this necessarily, but hopefully we'll be back in shortly. I do a big unit on financial literacy. This is excellent. Kids don't usually get this at middle school. So it's some personal finance concepts, and it's all done through an online game, sort of. It's not really a game. It makes them do the scenarios, but it's a series of life scenarios that the students go through where they learn about a bank account and what's the difference between a checking and a savings account and a credit card versus a debit card, and how do you budget your money and all of these, and they become familiar with that vocabulary and, more importantly, that mindset. So some basic personal finance in a unit that we're going to do about financial literacy. And it's fun. It's the kind of thing where when I say to kids, oh, we're going to do a unit on financial literacy, they may not be so excited to hear that, but once they get into it, they love this unit. It's a lot of fun. It does have a feel of a game, so they really enjoy it. I like to do a business letter, usually in the form of a letter to the president. This year, we'll see if we're going to do it as a letter to the president or maybe a letter to one of the candidates. We'll see. By the way, those letters have gotten better in the last few years because a lot of students have written letters that are a lot more passionate than they have been in the past. So that's an excellent project. And a resume. A lot of fun to do a resume with students that are this young because a lot of them don't know what it is. So it's an introduction to what that document actually is. But it's also interesting to see how they reflect on their own life, especially the younger fifth graders and sixth graders, to see them, try to fill in different life experiences that they've had that would count as like job experience, like I take the trash out or whatever. But a lot of the kids have done. I end up being surprised when I see these resumes, some of the experience that kids have had either in family businesses or doing other things with family members that they consider to be sort of like work. So interesting project that we also do. So that's the general gist of my class. As always, you are welcome to email me. I'm available. If you want to speak one-on-one, we can arrange to do a Zoom as well. But that's the gist of my computer apps class, and I look forward to having your children in this class. And if you need anything, by all means, reach out to me. Thank you.